Hi guys, it is me, Jeremiah, here with Qlik 2024, and I am here with the one and only Qlik.
Hey
Nice to meet
Jeremiah,
you.
I'm so happy to meet you.
Thank you so much. So how does Qlik see its role and purpose to contribute to a more sustainable and environmentally conscious world?
Amazing question. So I've worked at Qlik for 15 years, like a really long time. And we have a couple of initiatives going on. So one, we make software, as you know, right? That our companies use to help run their businesses. Well, we also actually donate our software to other organizations like nonprofits that work in all areas of the world to help the environment and help vulnerable populations, for example. And we work with organizations like the United Nations. Have you heard of the United Nations? Okay, so they use our software to measure progress on whether or not we're going to properly, fight climate change, as an example. And they use data to actually help them determine that.
How can data be used to address environmental challenges such as climate change and pollution?
Yeah, great question. So you have data's collected everywhere. There's so much data. For example, like the quality of the air that we breathe, right? That's actually measured in cities and by countries and actually made available by organizations like the United Nations. So that data can be brought into the Qlik software and then analyzed to determine whether or not, if we're cutting down the number of cars on the road, for example, whether that's actually reducing pollution in the air. And when you reduce pollution in the air, that helps people breathe easier. And that means that fewer people have things like asthma, right? So climate change is related to all of this, and actually by reducing pollution in the air, by actually reducing the number of vehicles on the road, you're actually helping people be healthier and breathe easier. So it makes sense for everyone, not just the planet, but obviously for people to lead healthier lives.
In what ways can data help improve healthcare outcomes and access to medical services worldwide?
Oh, great question. So, as I mentioned before, we actually work with a number of charities. One charity in particular is called Direct Relief. They are based in California, and all big pharmaceutical medical companies send them products to California, and then Direct Relief ships them out for humanitarian and natural disasters. So like if there's an earthquake or a hurricane, or even like the refugee crisis from Ukraine, from the war in Ukraine. Direct Relief has sent over $1 billion worth of medical products to help Ukrainian refugees. And so they measure all of that data and who they're helping, how they're helping, where they need to send bandages, Vaseline, insulin for people that are suffering from diabetes. All around the world, they measure all of that information in Qlik. And now with artificial intelligence, they can actually respond more quickly. So like if there's an earthquake somewhere, Direct Relief will be responding with medical supplies to help people on the ground recover. And they can look into their data in Qlik and understand if a similar earthquake happened somewhere else in the world, maybe in the past, like a couple of years ago. They can proactively see how much medicine they need to send to the new area where the earthquake occurred, so they can help people that much more quickly, right? Because time is everything in these kinds of disasters. So the more you can use data and the more you can make decisions fast to help, the more people you're going to be able to help.
How does data-driven decision-making contribute to reducing poverty and inequality in society?
Yeah, great question. It's a big problem. And we haven't tackled it yet, but we're working on it. And so, when you think about some of these big global issues, the United Nations actually has something called the Sustainable Development Goals. Have you ever heard of those? They're called the SDGs. And it's the United Nations that's measuring, the number of people around the world that are living in poverty. And they're measuring that. by country every year, and they have this enormous amount of data that gets reported on it. Well, a lot of people don't know about it. And we're pulling that data into Qlik so that countries, charities and nonprofits, private sector companies that are actually working in a given country can actually do more to help alleviate the situation and bring more people out of poverty by, providing jobs, helping with incomes, making sure that they're supporting farmers, for example, that type of thing. All of that to help people build a healthy, productive life for themselves is all how we could measure that with data and help countries actually do more for all of its citizens.
Well, thank you so much. That was my final question.
Great, thank you. Great questions.
Thank you.